What is going on, guys? This is Garrett with the Badassador Podcast, and we are here with Ricky and my man Israel. He is the MC for a lot of the Dodge events, and well, it was very recently that I learned that MC is not M period C. It's EMCEE, or that's
well,
way
it
to
can
spell
be
it?
though, because MC is Master of Ceremonies, so that's what. So it is MC. MC means Master of Ceremonies, but you can also do EMCEE. But you can do it any way you want to do it, as far as I'm concerned.
Can you tell me the origins of that? The EMCEE, is that just because that's the way it sounds?
If I'm being honest, I wouldn't know the origins. It's just something that I remember looking up MC Hammer, whatever, way before you guys were born in the 1900s. MC Hammer, of course, was MC, letter M, letter C.
Yep.
And one day I just thought I'll look that up. I didn't know what it was, and that was literally just Master of Ceremonies, going to back circus era and stuff like that. Essentially running the circus rings.
I was born in the late 1900s. Okay, right, I'm not in the 2000s, baby.
Okay. You get it.
We were still
1998,
sitting in diapers whenever the 2000s rolled around.
You get it.
Well, we've met you a couple times. We've seen you
Seen you
around
guys out
since
there.
we joined the program. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So, we kind of go all over the nation doing these great big events with Dodge cars, obviously. I work in NHRA. I also work in, obviously, the Mecum Auction thrill rides. We also do that. And, of course, we also, we do different exhibitions. Roadkill nights, we do that. I think I've probably seen you guys up there. Woodward Dream Cruise, we've done that. So I've seen you guys there. So literally, it's just coast to coast, up and down. We take the Dodge cars everywhere and kind of show them off to the world.
How many places do you think you go on average in a year?
I would guess maybe 25 to 30 cities, probably. Roughly about 200 plus days a year for me.
Which city's your favorite?
No such thing. That's like asking me which kid is my favorite. I love them all for their own specific reasons.
Just tell me it's Las Vegas.
It's Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas easily. Not really. I'm not a big Las Vegas fan. But just because the heat,
Of course.
obviously the heat is enduring, not endearing. But I do like Charlotte. I think Charlotte's a great up-and-coming city. I think Indy is really great because the people here are very spirited. They're very into the vehicles. They know the scene. They know the culture. And for me personally, probably one of the bigger ones would be Detroit, obviously, because it's the home of everything that we're doing. So those people know their stuff.
Okay. So what exactly does Mecum do here? Or not Mecum. What exactly does the thrill rides and Dodge themselves do here at Mecum?
So what we're doing here is we're getting people kind of motivated and excited about our products. It's a great opportunity to kind of get in there and show people what we do, as opposed to telling them what we do. We want to show them. We want them to be in the car, get the physical experience. We want them to be kind of clutching at the armrest and just really getting into it. So we want to show the cars off what they can do. It's what we'd say, it's tight but loose, right? We run a very tight show. The drivers are very well trained. It's very precise, precision movements, but they're so good at it and the cars are so effective at what they do that it comes across as just being very carefree and just wide open and just fun. So it's like literally we pack it all in together, one big punch.
Yeah, it's always a blast here. I know me and Garrett, we always go back and forth, whether we're behind the driver's seat or in the passenger seat, watching other people go around a track. It's always a blast. So we love what you guys do, especially the thrill rides. We prefer to be the drivers, but we get it. We're not contracted to be able to do that yet.
Yeah. You got enough on your plate.
Yeah.
You got enough on your plate for now anyways. You guys are pretty dang busy doing what you're doing. And we love what you do, by the way. So true story.
Definitely.
Job well done.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's we heard a little bit about what you do. Tell us about you and what brought you up into the world you're in today.
So I come from a car family. My grandfather actually was born in Alabama as a used car salesman. Ended up moving out to Idaho, which is where I live now. I'm from Boise, Idaho. My grandfather moved there out in the 40s and started selling cars. He turned into a car salesman there, and then he ended up sponsoring a race car in the late 40s. From that, we've been around cars my entire life, so the family has been knee-deep and immersed in it. So my culture really comes from more of the hot rod scene as opposed to racing. We didn't have a lot of tracks near the place that I grew up, Pocatello, Idaho, kind of small. We had like a little track and a little race track, a little drag racing track, but a lot of it was just more show and roll kind of stuff. With that, from there, I got into the motorsports, eventually started working with Army racing back in, I think, 2007. Went over to NASCAR. I started with NASCAR, Ryan Newman, Mark Martin, those guys, was with them for several years. And from there, I got pulled over to the NHRA, which has been my home for the last almost 20 years now. And it's literally, it's like family to me. It's
nice.
It's where I feel like I belong, is the drag racing world. And of course, Dodge has a massive presence there. So it was a very seamless kind of transition for me. Dodge is already well established. I was pretty well established at that point. When the time came, it was a perfect marriage, at least in my mind, perfect marriage.
What's your favorite class at an NHRA event?
I mean, I'm a top fuel guy all the way, strictly because that's, and I get it. I like the door slammers. I like the history of the sport, absolutely. But I am top fuel just because the sheer amount of power.
Definitely.
And I was just talking to some folks today. A lot of folks don't realize this. So no matter who the automaker is on the car, all those top fuel cars are using a Hemi.
Yep.
So it's a variation based on something that we've made. So I love it for that reason, especially because we are the foundation of top fuel and what they're doing out there. So it's absolutely just legendary.
Yes.
So I love being a part of that. So top fuel for me, but I love it all, really.
Okay.
Really.
That leads me to question number 2. Funny cars or dragsters?
I mean, I really like the rails. They're phenomenal, but I would probably go funny cars.
Yes.
I think a lot of my friends drive the funny cars. They're the people that I think I get along with best. I really gel and vibe with them. But also, it's like they say, I mean, the level of control and skill you have to do to drive a funny car is absolutely insane, strictly because the shorter wheelbase means that you are all over that steering wheel. So I think it takes a tremendous amount of concentration. Not that it doesn't in a top fuel car, but the funny cars are, I mean, down to the nth second, and those guys are just highly focused. They're trying to balance what is happening here and what's happening immediately in front of them simultaneously, and they've got a matter of a few seconds to tighten it all up and make it work. So funny cars for me.
Definitely. Got to agree with you on that one.
Didn't Dodge just start bringing out the thrill rides actually to NHRA events?
So we've done 2 of those now, and it has been, I would say, a incredible success, a perfect marriage. It's really where we need to be, I think, in a lot of ways. The fans are obviously car people, salt of the earth kind of people. NHRA is like a family in general. So really, it's a perfect balance of getting those people in here that really care about cars, really love Dodge. They're aware of our history, and we get to give them a chance to kind of experience the other side, not just a straight track. Let's get a little wild. Let's do some turns and burns. Let's get nuts. And they seem to love it. So for my dollar, for my money, I would say let's do it as many as possible. And I know the NHRA is responding to it really well as well. The fans actually are just eating it up. They're thinking that this is really something huge for them. So I think everyone is pleased. NHRA, the fans, Dodge, it's working incredibly well for all of us.
I think it's cool. Like they're implementing like, yes, okay, cool. A car can go fast in a straight line, but Dodge and Mopar, everything, now they have thrill rides and stuff. And it's if you're getting fans that only watch drag racing, it gets them into the other sport of drifting or autocross, stuff like that. And then like even talking with Tony, Leah, and Matt, we always been around them, and they were talking about the NHRA events, how personal they are, and how like you can walk in and watch people work on cars. So it brings like a really family oriented thing to this motorsport.
And I agree. You couldn't have said it better. Really, it's the perfect kind of family experience in the sense, just like you were saying, you can get right up there in the pits. And then when you add the thrill rides to that, we've taken the straight track kind of out of the mix just for the thrill ride experience, so people can experience the kind of the full range of performance in a Dodge. It's not just straight line. We certainly are very good at straight line. That is home for us. But these cars are also incredibly they handle incredibly well, rather. Their stopping power is exceptional. They're very precise steering. So in my mind, again, just like you said, it's a perfect marriage for the people that haven't got to experience that. You get to experience, obviously you love drag racing, but at the end of the day, a lot of the drag racing guys, and I'm sure you guys are obviously aware, like car people. I mean, we're just car people.
Yep.
So that is a perfect translation into that world. It's something that I think is absolutely perfect.
Very nice. Well, I hope to see you at the Fall Nationals at Texas Motorplex in Ennis this year.
I don't know that I'll be there, but we will for sure be at we'll be at the race here, the Nationals, the big one, the U.S. Nationals. So I'll flip that back on you and say I hope to see you guys there. If you guys go there, we will make sure you have a full spectrum of hospitality, fun, family, friends, and we'll make sure you have a phenomenal experience.
What's the date for this again?
That is going to be the first weekend of September. It's kind of I think it's Memorial Day weekend. Is it Labor Day weekend? Whichever one of those comes first, we'll have to. But it's essentially a 4-day event. It's one of the bigger ones, and from a drag racer's perspective, it is the biggest deal. It's like I said, that's where everyone. It's the, and as you guys are probably aware, most of the drag teams are based here.
Right.
So predominantly here. So it's home for us, and it's probably the biggest deal to the drivers. Indianapolis. So with that in mind, I mean, everybody's just really on their A game, and it's something where the fans get full engagement, full picture, and the drivers are absolutely in love with it because it's really their time to shine.
Cool. Yeah. Definitely. So I do have a question about the thrill ride. So you've been around for how long have you been with Dodge?
So I've been with Dodge for 8 years.
Okay. So you obviously know Hellcats and all that.
I do.
What would you say about the transition from going from the Hellcats to the SIXPACKs as far as the thrill rides are involved? Because obviously you have a lot of people out there. They're like, oh, twin turbo inline six. No, we don't want it. We want to be 8. But when you get behind those cars, when you sit in them and the boost kicks in, like it's an adrenaline rush for everybody. So how would you see? Because a lot of people, they have a bad rap for it, whatever. But when you get behind the car and you're actually inside of it, it'll change your perspective 100%.
100%. I'm with you on that. So I always tell people, the thing about Dodge is Dodge has always been on the forefront of taking chances and stepping forward and trying things that nobody else has tried. The Hemi would be a perfect example. Before the Hemi came along, no one was doing that or thinking that. Dodge came along with the Hemi. So this is a new way for us to kind of, carry on with that Dodge tradition of trying something new, trying something different. With these cars, they are exceptional handlers. They're all-wheel drive out of the box. So they're standard all-wheel drive. However, at the press of a button, you turn that car into a rear-wheel drive. 100% of that power going to the rear wheels. So we could give them the experience of not only the car, how well it handles, but the fact that you can also relate to them that, hey, this is an all-wheel drive, so we wouldn't necessarily have to go sideways if we don't want to. This car will stick to a wall. I mean, it's incredible how well they manage the course. The power band is different, but I'm all about it. With these inline sixes, you've got a phenomenal low end and a phenomenal top end. The turbos, of course, bring that in top end to a outstanding measure, but again, that low end, the torque is absolutely bonkers. So when you're looking at, say, a semi-truck or a train, those all use inline six. Inline six, of course, phenomenal for maintenance, right? We've cut the maintenance in half. You've got one head. But not only that, again, the super low end torque, and we've reduced vibration. So it's also going to affect the handling of the vehicle. So with the reduced vibration, we're just having the pistons go up and down, up and down. You're going to get a more stable front end on that. And then the power curve, like I said, is immediate from start to finish. And that is certainly not to discourage the Hellcats. Those things are otherworldly. They are their own animal. But this in its own right is something new that they've created. And again, I really admire them for taking a chance, because you're absolutely right. A lot of people aren't so willing to accept the change.
Yep.
It doesn't sound the same, but for me, again, it's like I say, Dodge has always been at the forefront of trying things different. That's who we are. That is who we always will be. And so it's vital, that you try different things. And if we want to return back to it, that door is always open. We certainly can. But right now we've got something that I think a lot of people, once they get in the seat and experience it, they'll walk out with a much different perspective. And that has been literally the impression that I get from everybody. They get in, I've got an opinion about this. They get out, I've got a new opinion about this. And it's always a positive change. So it's a brilliant thing. And of course, our driver coming in can tell you more about the dynamics of the vehicle, but again, just a different animal, and it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Especially, you can speak a little bit on the racing factor of it. Roadkill nights, all that. You want to go talk on that?
So I've got that same motor, the Hurricane motor, high output, in a Magnum that I've built.
I love it.
And I gotta tell you, man, that car is more fun to do a burnout in than my 1500 horsepower Hellcat. I go out there in the Magnum and pin it to the floor, and it's just instant smoke. It's nuts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, that power band is incredible. You get it's instant, and very effective, and it's fun to drive.
Very fun.
Fun to experience that new Hurricane. So for me, it's hitting all the marks.
Yes.
Really. And not only that, we're talking about a vehicle that is more affordable. For people. So it's coming in much cheaper than you'd get a Hellcat or a Hellcat Red Eye. It's something that a lot more people can reach without breaking the bank. And it's a car that is a game changer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In every way.
Yeah, I don't know what it's making. So miles per gallon is not a language I speak often. And I don't necessarily know what the Charger 6-pack high output is making miles per gallon, but I know in the truck, they are mid-20s, and that is crazy for a full-size truck. So I can only imagine something more aerodynamic like the Charger was looking like.
Yes, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because I just drove one of these. So I had to drive one of these Chargers from Charlotte down to an event we were doing in Florida, and just highway cruising. I was stunned by not only how smooth it is, but really good gas mileage. So I mean, I was getting between 27 and 30 miles per gallon, and the car's no slouch, but it's also like riding on a cloud. So I tell everybody, it's the perfect track car, family car, highway car, grocery getter, church goer, whatever you want to use it for, that car has got it.
Have you tried the assisted driving functions?
I mean, I have on the highway, obviously. Audience at home, when I'm driving the car, I am only safe. That is the only way I've ever operated a vehicle.
Assisted driving.
Right. And so I've done it. Yes, I've used it on the highway. The safety features are incredible,
great.
and they're very effective.
Yes.
Right. So with that said, yes, I've tried it, but I've never tried to get wild with it to kind of push it to its limits.
Yeah.
But yeah, very effective.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's great. The lane keep assist, cruising 70 down the highway. It'll hold you right in your lanes where you're supposed to be, and it'll keep you off the car in front of you, off their tail. So
yeah, I mean,
it's nice. I like it.
Car do everything for you except for make you a sandwich, and it might even do that. I don't know. I haven't tried yet.
I'm not going to make a comment that I was going to make on that one. But, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up here?
No, I think that obviously we're really grateful to have you guys here, right? What you're doing is also really important to Dodge, the brand. And of course, it's important to the driving community at large. So not just Dodge, beyond Dodge. You know, we all share the same commonalities, and that is a passion for cars. So I admire what you guys are doing. Certainly thank you for your time. And of course, keep up the good work. You guys do a great job.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see you again very soon. So
I hope so.
I appreciate it.
Make good on that.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our next guest.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thanks.
Real. We appreciate you, man.
Thanks. So glad that's over. My God.
Sorry.
I'm going to go cute.
You did good, man. You did great.
We're not as professional set up as you guys are, but obviously you can just adjust the mic to wherever you need it to be. We are back. We have Garrett, and now we also have a special guest, Matt Avery, on-air personality that he likes to be called. Matt, thank you for being here today.
Yeah. Hey, guys. It's great having you out at Mecum Auctions. Thank you for having us.
First time being here. It has been a blast. Total experience. We got to hit the hammer, sold the car. Like it's been great. So I really appreciate the hospitality and having us out here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great having you guys out. I'm curious, what was your perspective or your opinion of Mecum Auctions before coming out to see it in person?
To be honest with you, I think I thought of it as just another vehicle auction. I would go and probably see some older cars and just what you would see at your typical higher end car auction. But I'm here, and this really is a full experience from the time you walk in the door to the time you get at the back, very far corner of the lot, and you're doing some Dodge thrill rides. So from top to bottom, man, it really has been a great experience. And I've only been here we've been here, what, 4 hours now at this point? And we haven't even began to see every car on the lot. So still a lot to see.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, about how you came up to be the man here at Mecum, and just basically your background, please.
Yeah, so I'm one of our, as you mentioned, I'm one of our on-air personalities and talent, and I'm really excited to kind of be one of our voices out there in the automotive community, talking about the collector car hobby and Mecum Auctions. And my background is I'm a career automotive journalist. I went to film school, and I've been very fortunate since then to work for a variety of TV shows and magazines, ultimately landing at Mecum Auctions in 2019. And now I host the Mecum in the Morning show, which has been great since we debuted that 2 years ago. It's kind of our way, guys, a lot of our fans and followers know us for our live TV broadcasts, and it kind of seemed like we were missing a part to get people even ready for that. So Mecum in the Morning is an opportunity for people to tune in, to almost get them ready for either the live broadcast or even coming out. And then the other project that I've been so thrilled about is my show, On the Move with Matt Avery. We just launched that earlier this year, and that's been a blast. It's essentially me going out and experiencing automotive culture and community all around the country. And I will say one of the things that makes it so enjoyable is I cruise around in a Durango Hellcat, but it's been great to really take that out, be on Hot Rod Power Tour, go to some of the best car collections, some of the museums around the country, and meet the people behind these cars, guys. Because I know that it's not just the cars that bring us together, it's the relationships, it's the friendships that go with it.
Definitely. Is this what you saw yourself doing at 19, 20 years old?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I knew I wanted to be part of car culture. And it goes back even when I was in high school. I did a VOTEC program. And so for a couple of years, I worked in the dealerships as a apprentice to a mechanic. And so I worked for a Mercedes dealership and a BMW dealership. And it was kind of funny, guys, because I remember when I was in the VOTEC program and I was getting ready to be placed out with a local dealership, my teacher would come to me and he would say, hey, Matt, this dealership would love to have, I've mentioned that you're available and that and I just said no. And it was not knocking other brands, but I was like, I want to be part of a brand that's exciting, that's doing exciting things, that's doing high performance things. And so that's ultimately how I ended up at the Mercedes dealership and then moving to the BMW dealership, because even as a young guy, I was like, man, to be working on AMG and M5s and, S classes, I was like, this is exciting. And I want to be part of automotive culture that gets people kind of revved up. So I will say, I didn't think I would be here per se, but I kind of knew I'd be in the zone, and I couldn't be happy with where I'm at. I love the fact that we have people coming out that are enthusiastic about what we do here. It's funny, guys, every morning, just like today, even before we as staff come into the building, we have fans lined up outside, like nice. That are revving, that are pulling against the reins metaphorically to get to their seat, to see the cars. And it's so exciting to be part of a brand that's fostering that kind of community.
This really is awesome. Like I said, it's been a whole experience from the time I walked through the door, and everywhere you walk, it's Mecum branded everything, and even the employees are walking around. I'm sorry, even the staff are walking around with smiles on their face. They're all happy to see you. They're greeting you. They're chatting with you. No one has seemed to be upset or in a bad mood as far as the staff goes. So that has been very, very warming, very welcoming.
Have you seen the cars that are here? Who could be mad at a place like this? You know what I mean? We've took a stroll around pretty much everywhere, I think, except for the far back.
Yep.
And it's just the plethora of cars that are here, the dynamics of, you have like the daily drivers that go for auction that I can actually afford, and then you got, Bugatti Veyrons here for sale.
It's just an aura in the air that's hard to be mad at,
Yeah, but I'm glad you know that, because I will say it's very genuine, and I'm saying it's not an act. I'm saying across the board, our team is composed of genuine enthusiasts. It's true. I mean, just like myself included. I just came, from lunch. I was chatting with some of our lot managers, and we were talking about some of our favorite cars. I'm saying, like, we really do eat, sleep, and breathe the car culture in the community, and I'm so glad that it's apparent to you as someone, as a first-time guest coming out to see the auction spectacle in person, that you pick up on that it's tangible, that you're seeing our team members who are excited to be here. Because again, it's a very exciting work environment. Yeah. And I'm very fortunate to consider that. It doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like I just get to go play with some cool cars.
Nice.
And you touched on something too, that something that's great about Mecum Auctions is that, the 7-figure cars are the ones that I think a lot of eyeballs are drawn to, but you can come out here and find great project vehicles. Mm-hmm. If you're an entry-level collector and you're just building a collection, you can find some great pieces here to start building a really nice car collection.
So one thing that really surprised me, and I've brought this up a couple times to Ricky since we've been here, is other auctions that I've attended, a lot of the prices are just astronomical for some things that I'm like, that's a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 car. I've seen a lot of cars go for very respectable prices where I'm like, man, I'm an average everyday person, and I could go up to the finance desk and I could go home with this thing.
We were literally looking at how much per month. We were like, oh, I can afford that.
Yeah. Well, I will say, so keep in mind that all we're doing is we're providing a forum to connect sellers with buyers. What plays out on the auction block plays out, and because I see the values fluctuate, and I will say all we do is we just provide that kind of a platform. I'm saying we don't control the market or anything like that. It's really just depends on who is after that car. And I will say, I think one of the things that we strive to work hard at is spotlighting all of the cars and getting them in the widest audience possible, right? So that way, when people come, they are aware of it, and there's more interest in that vehicle. And so hopefully that's where we see, sellers, both buyers and sellers that are confident that they're paying either a really good price, or if they're overpaying for it, it's because they really wanted to go home with that. It's stirring up the memories, or things like that. But it's just the connection between buyers and sellers. And again, what plays out. And you're right. Sometimes on the early days of the auction, we have motivated sellers that will lift a reserve or run a car that's no reserve, and maybe they need it out of their garage, or it's part of a they on their transport truck they only have so much room, but you can come out and find some deals. I mean, that's certainly true.
We learned a little bit about the whole no reserve or reserve stuff like that when we went up there on stage. That was an awesome experience. Yeah. Me and him, we were shaking. We were like, oh,
adrenaline rushing for a half hour.
It was a great time, great experience. The people here, even Jeff's an awesome guy, showing us around. But I have to ask the $1 million question. What is the most expensive car that you've seen sell here?
Yeah, so at Mecum Auctions, I will say, and then I'll zero into Indy. So right now, one of the highest selling vehicles was a Ferrari that we sold at Kissimmee that sold for, I think, around $35 million.
Yeah. Wow.
So 250 GTO. But I will say one of the other high seller memories, I'll call it, was also from Kissimmee. And you guys remember Bullet, the movie with Steve McQueen. So in 2020, Mecum Auctions, we were entrusted with the sale of one of the actual screen used Hero 1968 Highland Green Mustangs. Crazy. And that sold for, I think, around 3.3 million. And I remember that kind of rattled the automotive world. Man, now I'm firing all cylinders, guys. Another memory that is pretty cool is this past Kissimmee. We also sold a 1969 Yanko Camaro for 1.8 million. And so, I mean, it's exciting to see those to be in the room for those kind of moments. And I know a lot of people might be wondering, how in the world is a 1969 Camaro bring almost $2 million? And it's a good time to bring up the idea of provenance, and how that matters in the space of collecting, in terms of establishing a vehicle is what it is, and it has the rarity and the pedigree to command that kind of value. And something like that 1969 Yanko Camaro being, one of 201 ordered by Don Yanko through that central office production order with the L72 iron block 427, and being in the media, having the original owner there was so much there, guys. I mean, that added to that high sell, and it's very exciting to be part of that. And again, I think a lot of it doesn't just unfold when the car crosses the block, but it's the entire time that since the vehicle's announced to be consigned, and how our team works to spotlight that story and say, hey, this is going to be at Mecum Auctions. If you're looking for a piece like this, you don't want to miss it. And I think that's where some of those kind of high seller moments come from.
Yeah. If I could get my hands on a 1969 Dodge Charger, I would. That's literally my dream car. So. Yeah. But my salary I got right now, not affording that. No, sir.
Well, we were talking about this earlier, guys, after the Dodge store ride, is that it's remarkable to me that consistently one of the highest areas of interest is vintage Mopar. And I'm saying, I think you guys are representative of how that has expanded over the decades, is that Dodge hasn't lifted off the gas in terms of creating excitement, building products that kind of get your heart racing. And we see it here again. It's like some of the most sought out collector muscle cars have Dodge, Plymouth, and Chrysler badges on them.
Yep. Yeah. They historically have been at the front of, I think, every muscle car war that has gone down in the history of time. So I would like to keep it that way, which means we need to clap back to that Chevy here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's the combination of, throughout the last 50 years, Dodge hasn't just been building products that perform, but they've been supporting them with marketing efforts that build excitement, some of the most radical advertising campaign, some of the most memorable phrases and catchphrases and slogans, Scat Pack, Hemi, things like this, or that just are like, man, that's cool. Like not only does it drive really well, but man, that's cool.
When I see a Dodge commercial, it makes me think of some of the older Marine Corps commercials, how it's super motivating, deep voice, trying to get you let's go, and pumped up. And I see the same thing with the Dodge commercials. It's it kind of has always got me going. So maybe that's part of where my love for Dodge comes from, is just watching the commercials growing up through life. But man, they've always motivated the hell out of me.
you had to bring it up.
I mean, pistol grip shifter. I mean, all that stuff. Yeah. Some of those ads are fantastic. The bright colors. I mean, stuff like that. Stuff that sticks with people.
Yeah.
Because I think, there's a lot of memorable muscle cars that have been created from all the brands over the last 50 years, but some of them come and go because they just didn't stick with people. It's not just performance specs alone. You got to get the word out. And I think no one does that better than Dodge.
Right. Yeah. I have very rarely seen other manufacturers out actually showcasing vehicle abilities like Dodge does. They may post a commercial of their truck towing a camper or a I can't say vehicle specifics, but an off-road vehicle going over a small rock. But at the end of the day, that it's not legitimately challenging the capabilities of the vehicle like you see Dodge doing. In their commercials, they're doing burnouts in alleys and donuts wherever they can get them in. It's
closed course.
A closed course, of
professional.
course, wherever they can get a closed course in. But it just makes you feel a little different looking at it and knowing that like that's a enthusiast brand, not just an everyday get me to work and get me home type situation.
Yeah. I think increasingly they've continued to foster the community, the brotherhood of muscle.
Definitely.
I know was something that they leaned hard into. And I think that matters, because you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people that their car is just a basic way to get from point A to point B. But I think there's a lot of people, ourselves included, that we want some personality. We want it to reflect who we are. We want it to be something that we look forward to when we dig the keys out of our pocket and we walk out across the parking lot, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that Dodge has done a great job of celebrating that fact that, Dodge owners are not just commuters, right? What I'm saying? Like, we're enthusiasts. We want to be around other people. We want to talk specs. We want to pop the hood. We want to wear the branding of it. And I think it's cool. I hope they continue to lean into that, the wild imagery, the bright colors, and really celebrate driving. I mean, that's also something that, we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of Route 66 this year. Something that I don't know if I'd say this country was founded on driving. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but I think it's certainly part of the fabric of who we are as Americans. We love getting out and exploring and experiencing this country.
Route 66 is a big piece of Americana. And I think that's definitely anytime there's a Route 66 sign, you should see a Dodge sign somewhere in the vicinity as well.
And cars.
Or
and cars. Yeah,
and cars.
Or a Dodge car.
Or a Dodge car.
So what's your all-time favorite classic Mopar?
Oh, you go first. I kind of already said mine.
Classic Mopar. I guess I gotta go. A Magnum is a classic now, I guess. So I guess I got to go with that. It's been 20 years since 05. They released in 05, so I'm going with the Magnum. I like my hatchback.
Very big talking point on your hands. Yes. All right. Hey, no fault of your own. Man, I would say, remember I pointed out the Daytona Charger? The old school 69 Daytona
with the high
Charger
wings
with the
in the
high
back.
wings, Superbird. Yeah.
Man.
That right there, first
cool.
car
Gotta be
in
in Plum
NASCAR
Crazy,
to get
right?
200 miles an hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a dream.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a dream for me.
All right. Well, since you opened the door, I'm going to just kick it all the way open. Since you said your Magnum, which I agree, I think that's a modern collector. I like the neon.
The neon.
The SRT4?
I had
one of those.
Yes. My brother-in-law also had one, and those cars are in my opinion, they're the last generation Hurricane. I mean, the Hurricane just came around, so it could be the bigger, better, badder SRT4, and it's doing a damn good job.
But I thought, and I know I phrased the question of like all-time muscle, but I think in the performance spectrum, it's cool to see a car like an SRT Neon because it still showcases that even though that was the entry point in the Dodge lineup that year, they still were like, hey, we're going to offer a version that's turned up to 11. Because we know that people want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like, oh, hey, we're going to focus on some of the more premium products. Like, no, like, let's give the Neon owner something that they're excited about.
For sure.
I'll also throw out there the Viper truck was phenomenal.
Yep.
I had one of those too. SRT.
Oh, jealous.
Yeah, a single cab. Yeah, well, it was a single cab.
Nice.
Manual 6-speed. It was a blast.
I'm jealous.
I broke a lot of drive shafts.
I can imagine.
Nice. What year was that?
It was 2004.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and it was all black. It was beautiful. I loved it. I put
oh man,
22. I mean, they come factory 22s, aren't they? Yes,
I think so.
I believe so. Yeah. So I put the factory like brass monkey look Hellcat wheels on it.
Oh
yeah,
man, I bet that looked cold.
It was sick.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's a big talking point. So you're just go ahead, keep on.
Oh yeah, oh man, I was gonna say, I mean, Viper. Obviously, I think Viper connects with our generation of enthusiasts, and obviously that car, will go down in history as being a big turning point for the brand. Here's hoping they bring it back, but I think that also it is typical of what Dodge has been about: brash, raw, just basically pushing the boundaries of what's possible for street legal. I mean, that first version of that car had like canvas windows and side exhaust and stuff like that. I mean, just really cool to see that. And I mean, that's also important, guys, because I think a car like that in a lineup, kind of where the Demon was for the last couple of years with the Demon 170, it's the halo car that kind of provides a guiding light for the rest of the lineup.
Definitely.
And I think it's awesome that Dodge is like, hey, we're going to have the Viper, or again, the Demon 170 be the apex of what we offer, and everything else kind of filters off of that. But that's the tip of the spear in terms of standing, showcasing what we stand for.
Yes.
It's like you were talking about the classics that you want, and we were talking about the new, like what modern day car we would want. We both said ACR Viper.
We did Gen 5.
Gen 5.
Gen 5,
yeah.
okay.
So those beautiful, beautiful cars. It's just, I'll take a GTS. I'll take a TA. I'll take whatever I can get as long as it's Gen 5.
You could put a 4-cylinder in a Viper and I'd still probably drive it. I mean, I'll swap it out in the future, but man, the cars are just such beautiful cars. There's the green one, Cody's dad's.
Oh, snakeskin green?
Yeah, snakeskin green. That's the only green car I have ever found semi-attractive, but that color is so beautiful. Like I saw that car and I was like, man, I need to win the lottery. I almost went to the gas station. Leaving that auction, I almost went to the gas station and bought a lottery ticket.
Did it sell for like 475 or K?
It was up there. Yeah. It was definitely out of my tax bracket.
Yeah, I barely have a tax bracket, but yeah,
Well, I know you guys also shared with me earlier that you've had the chance to get behind the wheel with some of the new Chargers. What do you guys think about those?
I really like it. I think the torque curve is going to really surprise a lot of people at how early it brings in that torque. Because like I mentioned before, you step on the gas, and as soon as you step on the gas, it's just lighting those tires up and smoking. And I always like a smoky burnout. I'm a drag racer myself, so I go through probably a few more tires than most people do a year, just because I am a little extra by burnout. So I'll take any opportunity to burn some tire. What about you, Ricky?
So we've talked about this car so much before, but I'm going to say it again. The interior of the car, the interior is beautiful. I've driven one. I want to peel out orange one, 2-door, fully spec'd out. I mean, they've sent us a few to do some content with and drive around and have a good time. And daily driver, yes. You want to go on a road course, yes. Like we took it down to the Tail of the Dragon. It was crazy.
That was fun.
And it's a big car. It is. It's big. It's wide. It's heavy, but it's nimble. It's nimble for how big it is, for sure. So I love it. Right, and didn't we were talking earlier? I think somebody ordered one, didn't they?
Yeah, I've got a Ludicrous 2-door
Nice.
on order. I'm excited to get that in. But I gotta say, guys, my favorite thing about that is the fact it's a hatchback. I am glad that we're seeing that come back.
Yes.
I will say, I had a Fox Spy Mustang. I thought that was one of the best features of that car, was the fact that it had a lot of cargo space.
Yep.
So I will say, I'm so glad when Dodge announced that both the 2- and 4-door, you get the lift back. And I'm glad I think that's going to make that car even more usable. It's not just the performance chops of it, but now you can actually load stuff in the back. So I think that's awesome.
Believe it or not, and this is going to be hard to believe, us two, we're very large men. We're probably 400 pounds. No, we're probably 500 pounds combined between us two. We fit in the back of one with room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's so
there's a
much
video
room to
out
move
there
around.
of us
There
popping
is.
the hatch open, and we're just sitting there.
We're both just chilling.
lollygagging.
Yeah, we got our elbows like spaced out and everything. There's all the room in the world. Now I will say, and Dodge is probably going to fire me for this one, but one thing I've come to, I guess, an opinion I've come to develop is the car isn't necessarily the most photogenic. I have a hard time taking a good picture of the car, but whenever I'm looking at it, eyes, video, whatever, and it's live motion, it's not just a two-dimensional picture, man, it just looks different. Something about it is you start to see the nostalgia of some of the old parts, like the front bumper that they replicated from the 60s models, and you really get a new appreciation for it whenever you see it in person, just not on camera.
Yeah, I think that Charger is one of the most modern Charger that looks like the old school one.
Agreed.
Like when we went through with the media talking about, they actually showed out how they laid out the not center console, but the dash and everything, and how it resembles. It's not a replica. It resembles those tidbits from the 70s and the 60s Chargers. So, and I love it. I love the long flat front end, long flat rear taillight. I don't know. It's nostalgic, to be honest.
It grows on you. It's one of those that more than likely the first time you see it, you're going to say, what the hell is that? And that's because you're not used to it. But once you've been around it for a minute, it's going to grow on you very quickly, especially once you get to sit in the driver's seat.
Yeah. Well, I think also, too, you bring up a good point. I think we're getting used to the new body style, and I'm waiting for some of the special editions to come out with some of those graphics that help to kind of break it up that we saw in the previous version. Because I think that also kind of is like, okay, now it's a Charger. Like, you know.
That and some aftermarket effects, just aesthetic effects, whether that
like
be
underbody neon, or what are we talking about here?
Not necessarily underbody, but maybe like some lowering springs, the right wheels,
fuzzy dice, or
some fuzzy dice,
a hula girl on the dash.
Yeah, get your little hula girl.
Yeah, well, stickers add what, 5 horsepower a piece? I think
it depends. If it's red, it adds 7. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know
that's a new development.
Wow, red stickers at 7 horsepower.
Anything red adds 7 horsepower.
Oh, okay, wow.
Well, you're red. Do you have 7 horsepower?
I add 12.
All right. Well, this has been awesome. This entire experience. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Definitely.
Is there anything before we close up that you want to talk about?
No, I mean, it's been fun having you guys out. Exciting to see you guys kind of experiencing all that Dodge has to offer. I love talking with you guys about your genuine passion for the brand, your projects at home, about stuff that gets you excited. It's cool to hear about your Magnum, and it's cool to hear about what you have in your garage. It's great to have you guys out to Mecum. I'm glad you got to experience that firsthand, and I would encourage anyone out there, come out, check our website. We have auctions almost about once a month around the country. It's a good time. We have stuff, and it's not just for the hardcore car enthusiasts. We've been up here talking specs and details, but I think even the casual enthusiasts, or you come out with your family, your significant other, even bring your kids. We have the Kids Adventure Zone, and we try to have stuff going on that appeals to people just to come out, look at some beautiful cars. You don't have to be a hardcore bidder or seller to enjoy the day. I think that's what I tell people, is that obviously the main focus is what happens on the auction block, but there's so much else going on here. We've got all kinds of special Mother's Day stuff for tomorrow that has nothing to do with cars. So, I mean, we're always trying to be like, hey, what can we do just to foster an environment where people can come out and have a great time? So
definitely. I'd like to add a note for something. It kind of goes on what I was saying earlier. The pricing that I've been seeing with these cars, it's nuts, because whoever's doing you guys due diligence is awesome, because an estimated value will come up on the screen, and almost every car that I've seen has landed in the middle of that estimated value, and some of them have gone over, but I don't think I've really seen any that were under by more than $1,000.
Yeah, and all that has been worked out. I'm saying our team getting a car ready for auction, like, it's an intense process. And I say that only because, like, we want to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's, so that when a car crosses the auction block, it has the best possible spotlight on it. And that also goes down to even to the specs too. That's something we didn't talk about, but it's getting a car consigned. We want to work with those consigners to get the car as early as possible, so that we can get all that accurate information. Also too, on those windshield cards that you saw with that estimated value, that information also has been vetted by our team to make sure, again, we're working with consigners to say, hey, what are the selling points of your vehicle? We're working to verify numbers, and we're making sure that that's accurate, because that matters, guys, in the collector hobby, right?
Definitely.
You can't come in and say your car has unicorn upholstery, and, I'm saying, like, you can, but we're going to fact check you on that. Because, again, to us, that matters, our reputation. We want to present these cars in the light, and I'm glad that you've noticed that even with the estimated value, that it's there. And again, I would just say that comes from years of experience and being one of the major forces in the collector car space.
Definitely. Well, it shows, and you guys are really kicking ass, and I appreciate everything that you guys have, every opportunity you guys have afforded us today, and I really look forward to doing this again, man. It was very nice to meet with you.
Nice meeting you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Taking another break, and we'll have our last guest, and we'll wrap it up.
All right, guys, we are back. We're here again with my man Ricky and Mr. Michael Burris here. He is a professional driver. He is why don't you give us a description of everything you do? Because I know I'm not going to make it, like, exciting enough. Let's hear your description.
A description of
what you do in your professional life.
What I do in my professional life. So what I do in my professional life is I do performance driving these days for manufacturers, Dodge. We go all over the country, giving thrill rides, drift rides, Mecum Auctions all over the country, and letting people experience what the vehicles can really do. And in vehicles that are completely stock, and that's exactly the way that they can go and buy them off their showroom.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you ever done any like action driving for movies or anything?
I have done a little bit, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I've done a little bit. You don't see me. I'm not going to be Jason Statham or Vin Diesel. I just want to make them look bad.
The window's definitely rolled up type
Yeah.
situation. Okay.
Professional driver on a closed course.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Give us a couple movies that you've assisted with.
Well, I did a few years ago, I drove in the NASCAR chase commercial.
Okay.
I played Kurt Busch. He's a lot better looking, has a lot more money, but I drove for him. And then there was a series called Trans Am, and I drove in their last episode.
Oh, very nice.
Of that. And then down in Disney, we did a few commercials, and they came down to Daytona. I'm from Florida, and did the old Hotel Impossible, and they were redoing a hotel. So I actually took a guy out in a stock car at Daytona Speedway. So
Very nice.
yeah,
Is this what you've done your entire adult life, or?
pretty much what I've done. Yeah, I've raced my entire adult life. I've raced a go-kart, when I was little, and really never ever wanted to do anything else, in my life. My plan was to win the Indy 500 by the time I was 19. That didn't quite work out, but I've had a good career.
That's awesome. So talk a little bit more about how long have you been doing, like, working with Dodge? Just put it that way.
So been working with Dodge for several years. Obviously, we've had we had the Hellcats for a decade coming and doing these things. Before that, we did SRT track experience, and we actually traveled around the country and went to different road courses and such, because, when anybody bought an SRT product, they got a free track day. Now, now they go to Radford, that's their track day. Back in the day, we actually used to travel all over the country and go to different road courses all over to kind of bring it to them. But now our buddies at Radford do an amazing job, up there, when people get to go up there and experience, getting out on the track and actually getting the steering wheel in their hands.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, we did Radford. That. We did that for 2 days, and it was a blast. And they're trying to get us to come back, so we got to get some scheduling going.
I would highly recommend you guys going back.
Yeah. I will go every experience.
I would live there.
I can get
if I could. I'll live in the garage. I don't care. Just give me a cot. I'll be good.
Just a resident grease monkey, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
It's fine by me.
Well, just so you know, I've raced all my life. So when I was just sprint car racing, that was kind of how I slept a lot of times. I'm didn't have a lot of money, but had the time of my life.
Hey, yeah, that's a lifestyle. You gotta put all your pennies in one bank and just do it. Do what you gotta do.
Yes.
So, what is your best experience that you've had as far as like what you do so far as with the thrill rides and with coming up racing go-karts, stuff like that? What's your like favorite memory that you have?
So some of my favorite memories from like our thrill rides?
Yeah, I mean, over general.
So over general, really some of my favorite memories with our thrill rides is the fact that obviously we're very, very fortunate that we get hired to come out and drive these badass hot rods from Dodge, right? And most people don't get the opportunity, to do that. Obviously, we do it in a closed course, in a safe environment, and so we can actually show people what the cars can do. But some of the biggest things that, in my memories is the fact that we'll have people come back because, we go places, so you get to know people. And I'll have people that will come back and they're like, hey, I went for a ride with you last year and I couldn't afford this car, but I went to the Dodge dealership and I bought this other vehicle and I love it, and so it kind of gives them the whole feeling that they kind of belong to that, high horsepower community, even though maybe their first step in that direction, they can't afford that particular car, but they bought one and I'll ask them, I say, well, you love your car, right? They go, I love my car. I kid that in my opinion, I am the #1 Hellcat salesperson in the nation because, you have so many people that go for rides and that. And we literally were in Vegas and guy got in my car. I was in a Destroyer gray Charger. And he goes, I'm buying a car. He goes, I'm either getting a new Corvette or I'm getting a Hellcat. He goes, and there's one just like this down the street. And I said, okay. So I took him out. And as I'm giving him giving him a drift ride. I'm pulling up, I'm showing him all the performance pages and things. And we came back in and I said, this is completely stock. This is what you would buy. He goes, this is what I would get? I said, absolutely. Hour and a half later, he sent us a picture and he went down and he bought that car on that.
Very nice.
I still to this day, I say I think there should have been some kind of commission or something on that. But,
Finder's fee or
you know,
something.
Yeah.
on that. But I did have the satisfaction of that. But yeah, that actually did happen.
Yeah.
And at a Mecum auction, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. But and just thinking about it is like how what you do for a living, how much it impacts the people that you meet that get in a car with you, and you give them the experience of that thrill, right? And it's a full circle life, right? Because it's like, you know, when they came out with the six packs, I was like, I'm on the edge about it. I like the interior, I like the way it looks.
Yep.
But as soon as you get behind the wheel or you ride in one of these cars, it's like it'll change your entire perspective of it. And that's why everybody that's sitting on their couch is going to sit there and complain about it until they get behind it and drive it. They can't really say anything about it. So,
well, and until people actually get in the car, they don't really realize how amazing that new six-pack is. Full disclosure, I own a Charger Hellcat. Love my car. Absolutely love my car. But, you know, and everybody's like, well, what do you like better? I said, they're different. I said, this new Charger six-pack might not have quite as much horsepower as my Hellcat, but it has a lot more capability than my Hellcat. You know, because that car is all-wheel drive. You know, I can go to the performance pages, and with the push of a button, I can make it completely rear-wheel drive. The car still has line lock, and I mean, you have all kinds of capabilities. So even like, say, we're in Indiana right now, right, at the Mecum auction. So the winters here in Indiana, you can still drive that car, you know, in bad weather. It's all-wheel drive. Or you can take it to the drag strip, which we did. I was at the media day when we did that in Nashville. I was at the drag strip. You know, you can use the line lock, heat them up, and then put it back right in all-wheel drive. And that car's a rocket.
oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and it is a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier car, but people don't realize how nimble that car is and how well balanced it is. And, you know, once we're out there, me and my buddies that are out there that we're fortunate enough to give the rides, that how balanced it is and how smooth it is. People think when they get in the car that it's going to be, you know, jerking you around a lot, and it's not. You know, if you're doing everything right, everything just kind of glides from one side to the other. You know, you keep power to the rear wheels because you want to keep the wheels, you know, the rear tires spinning,
Right.
you know, on the car. So completely smooth, and for a big car, unbelievably nimble.
What's your favorite car Dodge has ever had you drive?
Wow. My favorite car that Dodge has ever had me drive.
Could be some old antique that was a one-off. Could be a Viper. Could be a Challenger. Who knows? Just whatever you're feeling.
That actually is that's an easy answer for me.
Yeah.
And it's actually the original Demon.
Okay.
And we went out to Pomona, and we went out there to give thrill rides, right? We were going to give drift rides. And then they were going to draw a name at the top of each hour, and I was going to give whoever that winner was a ride in the car down the drag strip. Well, it was misting rain. Drag racing, right? So that shut all that down. So they called me and they're like, we really want to do something with the Demon. Well, when it's raining or misting, we'll still give drift rides. You know, we're still
Your tires stay
rides.
good all day.
So they was like, gosh, we just want to do something with the Demon. And I was like, okay. So we drew a name out. We shut the thrill rides down for about 5 minutes, and I put the person in the car with me, and I just lined up next to the awning, and we just did a rockin' burnout all the way down to in front of her. And to be quite honest, I think they enjoyed that a lot more than they would have enjoyed right down the drag strip.
yeah.
Everybody loves a burnout, right?
Oh, yeah,
And oh yeah, we rocked it. It was pretty amazing. And you know, that first Demon that came out was pretty revolutionary. You know, when you come out to get a production car that will run the quarter in under 10 seconds.
Yep.
You know, that's pretty amazing. So that was pretty amazing that they asked me to do that. So I was pretty excited about that.
So how do I sign up? Where do
That was going to be my next question.
You hiring? Come on, I need a job.
You know, you're gonna find this hard to believe, but we get asked that a lot.
Yeah, no, trust me, I've asked you.
He's asked a lot.
We've asked that a lot, and you're gonna the other thing you're going to find out, hard to believe, is there's not a lot of turnover in our team. You know, when we
Someone's
all
got to retire.
we all love our jobs, and you know, I'm very, very lucky that I am one of them that gets to represent Dodge and these vehicles and go around and show people what they can do. And you know, the other thing, we get a lot of people that when you're talking about things that satisfy you, you know, I'll get people that will come in, and I'm kind of a geek about cars, right? I'm a car guy. You know, I've raced all my life, but I'm a car guy too.
Right.
I love hot rods, you know, I love muscle cars and, you know, and such. And when you get somebody that like comes out, I had somebody at, was it year before last? And it was here at Mecum, and he told me he bought he goes, I just bought a Challenger, a 1320. A lot of people don't realize what that is. It's kind of the baby demon, right?
Yep.
It's a normally aspirated demon.
Yep.
And he said, I said, well, how do you like it? I gave him a ride. He goes, I love it. He goes, but I don't know exactly how to work the line lock. And I said, he goes, when I got it, they didn't really know, you know, I bought it new and they didn't really know and everything. So we came through, and I was like, and I passed where everybody was at, and I told them to hold up a little bit. We came around and I said, I'll show you how to do it. And the thing is, you know, there's a procedure on everything, right? So when you hook up the line, you know, the line lock, you have to get the brake pressure to at least 1,000 pounds. Well, it will show you on the dash once you get there, you know, and then you hold the OK button, you know, on the steering wheel, which a lot of people don't realize that either. And that holds your front brakes on that. So I tell everybody it gets about 1,100 pounds, but the part of the process that he missed was getting to 1,000 pounds of pressure, you know, 1,000 pounds of brake pressure before you hold the button. Well, if nobody tells you that, you know, you don't know it. So, you know, when we as a team, I love the fact when we get to show people those kind of things, and, you know, with their vehicles that they love, that they bought, but there's still some of the little trick things that they don't know exactly how to use them. I absolutely love having the opportunity to show people how to fully enjoy their cars.
It's always fun to learn something new with something that you've had for a while that you'd like. The new effect has worn off, and then you found something new, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna go enjoy this for a little while.
It's brand new again.
Yep, it's brand new again.
I was like, I have a 16 Hellcat Charger, and mine does not have line lock from the factory, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
so my line lock is my left foot.
Yep.
Yes.
Same.
And then when we went to Radford, and they actually showed us the line lock and the trans brake feature on the
I couldn't work
Demons
with it.
and the Hellcats. I didn't know that you had to apply a certain amount of pressure, but it does pop up, and you do have to. So that wasn't a thing.
Right. It will tell you. And that's the other thing. When they put a trans brake in a production car,
That's crazy.
right?
Yeah.
But even somebody that drag races all the time, it's not a normal, you know, how the trans brake works. And there's a process with that, right? With using the paddles and how you think. But the dash will help guide you through, you know, that process when we do it. We were in, it was the last race they had in Denver. Those guys are great out there. And we were out there, and we were doing like a media conquest event out there, and Leah Pruitt and Matt Hagan would always come out and do that. So we'll take guests out, let them drive the vehicles and such, and then Matt and Leah will come out and give people rides, which they love, right? You know, people that get invited. But Leah called me over to the side, and I said, "Do you want my car?" And she goes, "No, I want you." And it was which was unbelievably fun. And it was the owner of the track, and he had a Demon. And she goes, "I want you to take him out and show him how to use the trans brake." And I was like, okay, this is pretty freaking cool.
That's cool.
You know, and, you know, some of those little things like that, you know, to me are huge. I mean, you know, this is what I do for a living. I'm fortunate, you know, to do this for a living, but those small things that you get to do like that, showing the owner of a drag strip how to use a trans brake on his 2018 Demon, you know, or showing just a guest, you know, like how to use the line lock, you know, on their 1320. To me, those things are absolutely amazing. And the one thing that I know that I tell everybody when we come in, after I give them a ride, I specifically make sure and tell everybody, I said, these things are completely stock, and they are normally stunned, you know, at that. They can't believe that car is completely stock. And I said, we go all over the country and do this. Dodge wants us to give rides in the vehicle exactly the way that you can go and buy it right off the showroom floor.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Back on the trans brake topic, how revolutionary that was. That we are in 2020. That was 2018 when Dodge said, "Okay, we're going to put a trans brake in a production vehicle." We are in 2026, and it took up until March of this year for us to get a trans brake in the aftermarket world of the 8 HP series. In March, 2 companies brought a trans brake to the market for our 8 HP 90s, 8 HP 70s, just the Hellcat transmissions, SIXPACK transmissions, and that whole line. And it's crazy how far ahead of the game Dodge has been for 8 years now. It took the aftermarket to catch up on something as simple as a trans brake.
I tell you what, the SRT engineers are pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
And not only are they amazing, but they're racers, right? So I mean, Jim and Eric and all these guys, they're drag racers, they're road racers. These guys are car guys and racers, that really designed and built and put that car together, which revolutionary, when they did it. And some of the things that they did, like to make the car quicker, it didn't come standard with a front passenger seat, but you could get it for $1.
Yep.
For an option,
$1
rear seat too. So those were some of the things that, was absolutely amazing. And it really lets you custom have your drag car however you want it.
Yeah, that or affecting by an entire crate with skinnies in the front and a jack, tire pressure gauge, torque wrench, all that.
Everything you need.
For $1.
Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely.
Dodge is definitely always ahead of the game, and I know they're not done. That's for sure. So,
in my opinion, they're certainly not done. Actually, with what we went through, with the Hellcat stage and such, and now what we're back in with the 6-packs, as opposed to saying they're certainly not done, in my opinion, they're just getting started.
That is something they always do. It's like, oh wow, 840 horsepower Demon drag car. Wow. 1025 horsepower drag car, Demon 170. So yeah, they're definitely they always push the limits, and they're going to continue to keep doing that. But I did have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about with Matt and Leah, what is the, I guess, most famous person that you've ever taken on a thrill ride or taken around a track in a car?
Wow. I gave the manager of the New York Yankees a ride.
Oh, that's cool.
But actually, for me, one of the I think he's unbelievably famous, and one of the most fun that I ever did. And it was at Roadkill Nights, and the MMA fighter Chuck Liddell, the Iceman.
That's awesome.
I got to take Chuck for a ride. Still has the mohawk and such and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, that was freaking awesome on that. And it's might be possible that I might have done a few extra donuts in the middle of Woodward Avenue when I had Chuck in the car.
No, really?
I told everybody I just told everybody my foot slipped.
Yeah. Isn't that what we tell everybody?
Oh yeah.
Foot slip.
Couldn't contain the excitement.
Yeah. Wow, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Well, do you got anything else you want to hit on before we wrap it up?
I really appreciate you guys, having me on to come and talk about this. We really appreciate the opportunity that we get to come out to the Mecum Auctions and put these programs on for these guys. We hope it really helps them out. I know it helps Dodge out, with their branding and people getting to drive the cars. But the fact that y'all give us the platform to come out and talk about what we do, and the guests that get to come out and such, really, really greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's been a surreal experience, especially here with Mecum. Here with you guys. I always see you guys as a thrill ride, so we're no strangers to you guys. But getting a new experience like this, shout out to Jeff. Thanks for all he's done and showed us. It's been an experience, and I think we're just getting started here in these contracts. Maybe we'll get renewed soon in the future, and we'll keep making stuff happen. So thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Really nice meeting both of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It was great to meet you. And there we have it. Another episode of the Badassador Podcast. You guys stay sane, stay safe. And Ricky, turn the cameras off.
Okay.